This week on commandN, Zunes commits suicide, Wikipedia gets a big gift, and Jeff starts to decable. Welcome to episode 163 of commandN. I'm Amber.
I'm Will Pate.
Happy New Year to everyone, and Happy New Year to the ducks behind us. Hopefully they don't make too much noise during this episode, but we're happy to have them here. We also wanted to mention that commandN got 2 awards over the holidays. Top Classics Podcast on iTunes, as well as Top 20 Podcast to download on PC Mag. That was good.
Swish.
Thank you so much. Now let's talk about the tech headlines of the week. Our headlines this week are sponsored by GoDaddy. If you go to GoDaddy, you can get an extra 10% off if you enter the promo code commandN. That's the number 1 and the number 0. And remember, if you do build a site, feel free to post a link to your new website in the comments at commandN.tv. Our first headline this week is about the Microsoft Zune, which is an MP3 player. It does a lot more than just that, from Microsoft. Well, it turns out at the new year, what happened is some of these Zunes froze up. So if you bought your Zune, a 30 gig Zune, in 2006, it probably ran into some problems.
I haven't got a clue what's going on with it. I mean, it's just sat there in its dock, but I mean, you know, it won't do anything, so I don't know what to do now.
Now, there is a fix for this up on the Microsoft site, but it was kind of fun looking at the headlines talking about how the Zunes committed suicide when
Zune 2K.
Yeah, exactly, 2009 rolled around. Now, you have some Facebook news.
Yeah, the president of Guyana has apparently been caught up in some sort of Facebook scam. Someone's been impersonating him on Facebook, and now he's having the police look into it to see who it is.
You know, this happens all the time, but I have heard if someone is impersonating you on Facebook, you can get in touch with their support.
Oh, yeah?
And what you do is you actually hold up a piece of ID and take a picture of yourself. You send it off to them so they prove you are who you say you are.
Is that how they do it?
Yeah, this
That's
is
brilliant.
what I've read, and you can actually get them to fix their account. So.
Old school meets new school.
Now, speaking of new school, we have another Twitter story. There is a new application online called Twapply. Unfortunately, this specific application caused a lot of controversy around January 1st when it launched, because what they did when you signed up, the idea is you sign up to get all of your @replies sent to your email address, and at the same time, the service actually spammed people on Twitter saying that you had signed up, and people just went crazy. So really dumb marketing move by this tiny little company. So I don't think they're going to get a lot of users in the next few weeks, but there are other alternatives if you do want to get your @replies sent to your email.
And a good lesson for people who build web apps, language is important, because there was actually a little message there that said, you know, would you like to help spread the word or something, but they didn't actually say we're going to post a message to your Twitter account. So maybe if they had worded it better, then people would have understood what it was and there'd be less confusion.
I know, and I read somewhere as well that they sold the service for about $1,200 after all this stuff went down. And over the holidays, Wikipedia got some good news.
Yeah, they just met their 6 million donation mark, which is great. So it means they've got another year of operating revenue. So to everyone who donated, thank you very much. Yeah, more Wikipedia.
Now, was that the message I was seeing on Wikipedia from Jimmy Wales at the top? Okay. One of our favorite video podcasts, well, we shouldn't be calling that, I guess it's an online show now, is Rocket Boom. They've been doing this series for a while called Know Your Meme, and they do a great job of it. It's a history of certain internet memes. They put one out over the holidays called The History of Lip Dub. So the idea is you can get the history of people online who do dubbing to certain songs like the new Vanilla Guy, and there's a whole slew of others. So let's take a quick look at that.
A simple webcam video of a man in a chair dancing and lip-syncing to a Moldovan pop song enraptured the internet. Brosma had nailed all 3 necessities for a successful lip dub: the song, the performance, and the context.
And our last story this week is about how the virtual world EVE Online actually had their second voting, and now they're a democracy. They've done 2 rounds of voting now. And what's going to happen is the 9 members of the kind of democratically elected council are getting brought to Iceland, where they make the game EVE, and they're going to get trained in how to run the democratic process on the game.
So are they going to Iceland in the real world or in the virtual world?
In the real world.
Oh, lucky them.
The virtual EVE world is like a space world, so I don't think they're going to take you up into space.
Oh, come
Someday.
on, Will, come on. Now, Jeff is starting his new series called Decabled, talking about cutting the cable cord. So let's take a look at his first segment.
Hi, and welcome to the first Tech Tips of 2009 and the first Decabled segment ever. In order to set the stage for some of the stuff we'll be doing with Decabled, which you can follow at the decabled.com blog, I thought I'd go through a few different ways to browse the internet on your TV. The main reason being that there's a lot of free video online, and we need to be able to take advantage of that in a Decabled world. So most of the solutions below can, with varying degrees of tinkering, use a USB keyboard to enter data and a mouse or a game controller as a pointing device. So let's start off with obviously the most straightforward way to browse the internet on your TV. Simply plug your computer into your TV. You'll need a DVI to HDMI cable or DVI to VGA or some similar cable like that. And I just wanted to make a note that I found using a DVI to HDMI connection is something that I've needed to tinker with a lot, whereas if I use VGA or other analog connections, I don't need to fiddle as much, the resolution isn't as high, but it's pretty much plug and play. So just keep that in mind if you get bad results with an HDMI cable that you may need to do some tweaking. So the strength of this solution is that you can keep your system totally updated on your own and take advantage of all the apps you have on your computer, like Boxy and other media centers, for example. The next easiest internet on TV arrangement I've used is through the built-in browser on Sony's PS3. The 2.50 firmware update brought the Sony PS3 up to Flash version 9, which makes most of the Flash-based content online accessible. The interface is kind of painful, but it works, and I was able to simply plug in a wireless keyboard and mouse and start browsing. A third option is the internet channel on the Wii. This uses a version of the Opera 9 web browser, which unfortunately only seems to support up to Flash version 7, which leaves out a lot of video on the web. However, the internet channel does support the use of a USB keyboard for input, so at least you don't have to rely on the game controller to type things in. The previous options work pretty much out of the box, but there are a couple more ways for you to surf from your couch. We'll touch on the basics of these now, and then in the future we'll dig in a little bit more. So for instance, the Apple TV can be hacked to use the Couchsurfer browser, which plays Flash files, and there's also hacks so you can use a keyboard for input, which is very welcome given the severely limited Apple TV controller. In fact, if any of you have been thinking about trying out the ATV Flash third-party software upgrade for the Apple TV, then you'll find Couchsurfer included in that. Finally, I have to mention the Xbox 360. Although this does not come with a browser, users can try putting in place the Media Center extender functionality or other methods to satisfy their browsing needs, although from what I've read, this is probably the least usable of any of the solutions we've presented here. So that's it for this week. If you have any other solutions for how to surf on your TV, then please let us know in the comments, and be sure to check out decabled.com. I'm Jeff MacArthur. Enjoy.
So now it's time for our Frosty Web Picks of the Week. What do you have this week, Amber?
This week we have a web pick from Ravi. He sent us a link to disposablewebpage.com. It's a site where you can go and create a disposable web page. The idea is it kind of self-destructs after 90 days, or you can set a timer. So if you're planning a birthday party or a vacation, you want to really quickly put up a web page that's as simple as putting up a wiki, it's a great place to go, entirely free, and I think it's a handy tool for anyone out there who just, needs that one-off website.
Cool.
It's lots of fun, Will. It reminds me of Inspector Gadget when things self-destruct. That's why I like it.
Oh, nice.
Will likes it too. What's your web pick?
My web pick this week is called Clipnapper. It's a site where you put in a URL for videos online almost anywhere. Like they've got dozens and dozens of sites like Google Video and YouTube and Blip and all kinds of great places. And it takes the video and grabs it and you can download it.
Very cool. We also wanted to mention that we will have a new website up very soon, and it's all built on WordPress. The team has done a great job, including Aaron at MGI Media, and you'll be able to log in with your Facebook username and password. So we're using Facebook Connect. Lots of other great tools. So make sure you visit us because there's going to be a party in the comments for real. And now, of course, you can still go to commandN.tv on our existing site and leave us any feedback that you have or any comments or any ideas for web picks too.
Yeah.
Make sure you do that. All right, thanks for watching and have a great week.
The trumpeter swan, the largest waterfowl in the world, was brought to near extinction by those who hunted it for its beautiful plumage. All white with an almost completely black beak, the trumpeter swan is a native of marshy lakes and ponds. In the spring, the young chicks are born after 32 days of incubation and are soon ready to leave the nest.
Want this? You can have it. Ah. You bit my hand. Yeah, you got me. You got my finger.
The trumpeter swan is named after its clear, bugling call. For more information on the trumpeter swan, why not contact the Canadian Wildlife Service in Ottawa?